Okay, I'm pretty sure that I am live. Um, and I can see the comments. So, hello everybody. My name is Don, and I am going to be one of the main people on this channel, the Right Wing Renegades. It's going to be mainly a channel. I'm going to try to just do me and my friend Aaron, and we'll have a guest on talking about stuff, but mainly politics. I have a gaming channel, but I won't release the name of that because that's more of a private thing, very not political. I try to keep it, so that's why I made this. So I thought, what better than to take a political compass test, and this will probably be like my channel trailer, so that people can just see where I stand. So I hope the stream's going good. I should probably check, um, because that would suck if it was not. So give me 1 second, everybody, and let me make sure that I am up. And it looks like I am. Okay, yeah, I'm up. So let's go ahead and take this. So if economic globalism is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interest of transnational corporations. I would say disagree. I'm not a fan of globalism, but I feel like if things are better for corporations, they will also directly affect people in a better way because corporations run America. Corporations help people, they give people jobs, they give the products people need. I feel like if it's more in the interest of transnational corporations, people will directly be helped. So I'd always support my country whether it was right or wrong. I wouldn't support my country whether it was right or wrong. I would support the Constitution. I love America. I love this country. I'm very patriotic. I think it is the best country. But if the Constitution and our government no longer supports the right thing, for say, what if we became a Nazi type country? We went from being a strong country to a very hateful. I would not serve my country, I don't think. So I will disagree with that. No one chooses his or her country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud. I strongly disagree with that. I'm very patriotic. I didn't choose where I was born, but I am very patriotic about it. Our race has many superior qualities compared to other races. See, this is why it's hard to take them a political compass test around other people, only because it will make you seem racist. I'm not racist at all. I'm not prejudiced at all. Um, but these type of questions will be perceived wrong by people who are ignorant, like liberals and stuff like that. I would say agree, only because we, I don't know. I just say agree. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Disagree. I do not agree with that. Military action that defies international laws is sometimes justified. Agreed. That's a hard one because I didn't agree with the Syria bombing, but I guess that kind of plays into it. There's now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. Strongly agree. The fake news in the world on Facebook and Twitter is just absolutely absurd. People are ultimately divided more by race than by nationality. So nationality, not ethnicity. So people are more divided by class. So upper, middle, lower, or American, like Chinese. Well, not yeah. So I disagree. Well, actually, I would agree. No, disagree. Yeah, I'll disagree because there's so many differences in nations, whether they're other than classes. Classes are relatively similar, but nations are completely different around the world. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. Strongly agree. Only because if inflation skyrockets, then the economy could crash and everybody could go unemployed. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. See, some of these questions I somewhat agree with. Like, I agree with that to an extent because, like, right now, the regulations on corporations are absurdly high. So it's almost unconstitutional how high they are. But I feel like they should lighten them up, but they do require regulation because some companies would just destroy the earth if they had the chance to. I mean, look at China. Those companies run the government. They don't really have regulations, and now they're polluted and going to be out of drinking water in 20 years. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need. When I took this test at school, which I'm going to probably get a really different answer than I expect, but everybody was confused by this and they really liked it. And I was like, so you support socialism? Because that is a socialist type of answer. That is strongly disagree. We are capitalism. From each according to his want is capitalism. It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now bottled, branded. No, it's capitalism. You can sell whatever you want. Supply and demand. People need water to survive, and you don't have to drink water that costs money. You can drink tap water. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. Strongly disagree. I think you can sell anything. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. Strongly disagree. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. Agree. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver profits to its shareholders. I'd say agree only because if they're delivering a profit, that means their product is getting better and doing better than it was before the shareholders bought it, which means that it's going to keep getting better. The only way to deliver a profit is if your product is good enough to continually sell. The rich are too highly taxed. Strongly agree. I believe in a flat tax. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. Strongly agree. I feel like that's a very communistic question too, if you disagree with it. Governments should penalize businesses that mislead the public. I agree. I think that is wrong. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator manipulations to create monopolies. Yes. The freer the market, the freer the people. Agree. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. This is a question where I consider myself conservative, right wing, but this is a question where I really disagree with that. I mean, I'm even a Christian, and I don't agree with that. I disagree. I think abortion. I'm pro-choice. All authority should be questioned. Agree. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Disagree. I agree with like a death penalty for death, but like I don't think rape should be treated with rape, and you can't always do eye for an eye. Sometimes eye for an eye is good, but sometimes eye for an eye is also bad. Taxpayers should not be excluded. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. This is another hard question because I know a lot of museums that are just completely unnecessary, and with the internet becoming such a big thing, I mean, it's already the biggest thing. Museums aren't hugely necessary anymore. But I still think there are some necessary ones, like World War II museums, and I think it's good to learn from history. But some theaters are unnecessary, so I'll say agree overall. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. Strongly agree. Weave out the weak. If they don't want to show up, then it's not the state's choice to make them. All people have their rights, but it's better for all of us that different sorts of people should stick to their own kind. That is such a hard question because I don't think there's anything, races don't really have anything different. It's more about cultures that are different. African American culture is different from white culture, and just overall cultures are different. And some cultures are unacceptable, like Islamic culture. Majority Islamic culture is unacceptable with how they treat women and gays. And if you mix that, it would spread hatred. It's better for all of us that different sorts of people should stick to their own kind. I mean, America was built as a mixing pot. This is a hard question. Disagree. It spreads ideas. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. Strongly agree. I had the shit whipped out of me when I was younger. It's natural for children to keep secrets from their parents. I also agree with that. That's just a part of growing up. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. Strongly disagree. I am 100% against the legalization of marijuana. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the generation to find future jobs. I agree. That's why I love technical school so much. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. This is my favorite question on this back when I used to take it. Um, because I strongly agree that they should not be allowed. I think that it's a hard moral question because, I love people with disabilities. I have no hate for them in my heart. But if a baby is going to come out with cerebral palsy, that baby's only going to feel pain and torture in its life. And it's not going to understand why it's like that. Um, and preventing a life isn't killing a life. It's just preventing it. It's not going to feel pain like an abortion, which I'm also pro-choice. So the most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. It's not the most important, but it's very important. There are no savage or civilized people, only different cultures. Strongly agree 1,000 times. People are the same down to the bone and skin, but the cultures is what are really heavy. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. Strongly agree. That's such a big one. Like, if you have the ability to get a job, and you just choose not to, and you decide to be on welfare, then that is just despicable and disgusting. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but keep busy with more cheerful things. Disagree. You learn from stuff like that. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated with their new country. I guess it just depends, but I'm going to say disagree. What's good for the most successful corporations are ultimately good for all of us. I agree with that. No broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. Well, that would be like PBS, and PBS is a pretty independent company. I would just say kind of agree. Because I mean, like, the Weather Channel gets public funding, but it just made like a anti-Donald Trump thing the other day, which I don't agree with. So hold on, I got a text message from my mother. Okay. Next page. I just opened up Steam. That is going to cause me problems. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't open. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. I don't think so. That's more of like how they're tapping phones and everything. I don't mind that because I have nothing to hide. I think if you're worried about the government spying on you, it means you're hiding something. So I will strongly disagree. A significant advantage of a one-party state that it no, okay. A significant advantage. I'll just regular disagree. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments and delay process. No, disagree. That's the problem. People should argue and debate. One-party system that. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers should be worried. I agree. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. Strongly agree. I'm very for capital punishment. I should not have this subscriber. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. I strongly agree with that. There are followers and there are leaders. It's just how the human works. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything should not be considered art at all. I somewhat agree. Like, there is some stupid art out there that just there is no point. Like when people put just squares on canvases and it sells for like 50 grand. Some abstract art is important, but because it makes people feel a certain way, but some of it's just so stupid. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. That would have been another like somewhat, but I think punishment creates rehabilitation. And some people can't be rehabilitated. Some people are just so messed up that all they can do is be punished. It's a waste of time to try and rehabilitate. Yep, exactly. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. See, the writer is important. The artist isn't very important, but the writer is what's important. The press, the authors, the people that get the expressions out there. But I will say agree. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is be homemakers. I strongly agree with that. Women are empathetic and they are more emotional, and they're natural born caregivers. That's what they are made to do. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. Not really. We're not really exploiting unethically. Most developing countries that we take the resources from, we usually pay for. We're not just breaking into countries and just stealing their shit. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. I agree with that. No. Okay, we should be getting 5 out of 6. Okay. Astrology accurately explains many things. Strongly disagree. It's so people who believe in horoscopes are just they're just stupid. They're just dumb. You cannot be moral without being religious. You can be. I'm religious, and I think religious properties. I think religion gives a lot of good morals for people to build off of, like the Ten Commandments. I think that is a great thing to teach. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt respect thy neighbor. Like, that is good things to teach, but you can also, without being religious, still have good morals. Charity is better than Social Security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. I agree with that. Some people are naturally unlucky. Strongly disagree. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. I strongly agree. Religious values, as in, like, I don't think Sharia law, but I think the Ten Commandments, as I said, and some other stuff. Sex outside of marriage is usually immoral. Disagree. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. See, this is such a hard one because I'm all for gay marriage. I have no hate in my heart for homosexuals, but I feel like what's the word? Priority adoption should be given to heterosexual couples because it's good to have a mother and a father figure in life, an actual mother female and actual father male. So I I'll say agree only because I don't think they should be excluded. I think like Neil Patrick Harris and his husband, I bet they are great parents. But I feel like priority should be given to straight parents. Pornography depicting consensual adults should be legal for the adult population. Agree. It's a business. What goes on in a private bedroom between a consenting adults is no business of the state. I think that's a state decision. I'll just say agree. No one can feel naturally homosexual. Disagree. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. Yeah, I will agree with that. Oh, I'm nervous. If I get a bad score, I'm gonna retake it and say fuck this. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, that's predictable. That's not that bad. So not too not I'm not for a very strong government, and I'm pretty right, which I kind of expected. Um, so that's not that bad. I'm pretty okay with that. Me and my one friend one time, he got all the way up here right here, and I got all the way down right here. And we were like, man, if we ruled the world together, we'd be right here, and we would just slay everything. It'd be perfect. We'd be like Margaret Thatcher. Um, but yeah, that's where I stand politically. I don't know how accurate the political compass is, and I could have went into a lot more detail about all the subjects all the questions, but I don't know how accurate the political compass is. A lot of people say it's wrong and they dispute it, but I say it's one of the more accurate ways of being able to actually discuss things, and the questions are good. So that's where I stand. I think that's a pretty good, because I wouldn't mind being libertarian. That's not that bad. But as long as I wasn't over here, that would be horrible. So, yeah, that is where I stand. Thank you for watching.